Today's video is Chapter 7, Lesson 5. We're going to add, subtract polynomials. Alright, so our first example is going to be written like this. The book likes to write them sideways. I think it saves space. But when you actually work them out, I prefer to write them vertically. Do you have to write it vertically? No, you do not. But I think that it makes the most sense. So I'm going to write 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 as my top row. Because this is a plus sign, none of these signs will change. So this 3 is still a positive 3, this guy is a negative 4, this guy's a positive 6. So if this had been a negative, we would change, it would be like distributing that negative to everyone, but it's a positive, so everybody stays the same. And I have to put matching things together. So this is a whole number, so I'm going to write it under the negative 7 because negative 7 is a whole number. I'm going to put my negative 4x squared underneath my 2x squared because they have the same exponent. They are the same type of term. And then finally my positive 6x is going to go underneath my positive 5x. I'm going to draw a line, and this kind of looks like elimination when we were doing that. We're going to deal with each one of those and figure out each answer. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2, 2x squared. A positive 5 and a positive 6 make a positive 11, so plus 11x. A negative 7 and a positive 3 make a negative 4. You want your answer to be going descending order of exponents. So we want even if this had been in a weird order or this had been in a weird order, we want our answer to have the biggest exponent, the next biggest exponent, and no exponent. All right, here's my next example. Again, the book likes to write it sideways, and I like to write it up and down. So I could write this one on top. I could write this one on top. Since there's 4 of these, I think my gut is just telling me, hey, let's write this one on top. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one first, this term first, because he is my highest exponent. If I don't do it now, I have to do it eventually, so why not do it right away? Positive 2y cubed plus 4y squared minus 4y plus 8. So I've got all of these in this order, and they're going to be on top. And then my 3y is going to go underneath that guy. My plus y cubed is going to go there, and my negative 5 is going to go there. Now, what's different about this question than our green question? This doesn't have a match, and that's okay. Everything doesn't have to line up. There could be some terms that don't have a match to them. So 2y cubed plus another y cubed is 3y cubed. My plus 4y squared didn't change because it's like having a 0 right there. I got a negative y and a positive 3. There's my final answer. So let's recap. I could have written these on top and these on bottom, but I decided since there were 4 of these, I'll write them on top. There won't always be matches. I rearranged right away so that my exponents were going down in order. And then I put this guy on the bottom. Since this was a plus sign, none of the signs changed. They all stayed the same. Just to show you it doesn't matter, I put the first parentheses on top, the second parentheses on bottom, but I lined everybody up with their matches. And I will get a negative y, a positive 3y cubed, they're supposed to be cubed, a positive 3, and a positive 4y squared. Now I have to rearrange them so that they're in order. 3y cubed plus 4y squared minus y plus 3. So it doesn't matter. I did all that to prove it doesn't matter. You can put whichever parentheses you want on top. You don't have to rearrange them at the beginning. You can wait till the very end to rearrange. Totally up to you. All right, here's your question to try. When you type it in, you are limited because you can't do exponents like I can write them. So when you are using a computer to type an answer, what you do is you type a y and then a caret and then a 4. And I believe that caret button is on like it's one of the number keys, I think, like the 5 or the 6 or the 7. So what answer are you going to get? I got negative y to the 4th plus 2y cubed minus a y minus a 4. All right, so let's now do a subtracting question. All right, so this minus sign affects the sign of each thing in the second parentheses. So if I decide to put him on top or bottom, make sure that you distribute this negative. So 4x is now going to be a negative 4x. The 5 is now going to be a positive 5 because I have two negatives. Two negatives make a positive. The 3x squared will now be a negative 3x squared. I think I'll just go ahead and stick with this first one on top, but I think I want to put it in order right away. So I'm going to put 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. Then I'm going to take each of these guys and I'm going to put them down below their match. So that's a negative 4x, I said, and a positive 5, and a negative 3x squared. So that's really the only difference between adding and subtracting, is that this negative sign affects the sign of everybody behind it. Doesn't affect anybody up here. And if I want to put him on top, I can still put these on top. I just have to make sure I distribute. So my final answer would be negative x squared minus 6x plus an 8. Make sure that your answer has descending exponents. The order goes down to 1 and nothing. All right, here is your last question of the video. Try this one. All right, here's your answer. I decided to keep this guy on top. So my 7p's here, my 4p cubed, my minus 8. I left a gap because I noticed this had a p squared. I made my 3p squared a negative. I made my 2 a negative. And I made my 9p a positive because this negative sign changes each person after it. Combine like terms, and there you go.